On that
note, I think we're gonna jump back in.
Toss it on back.
Good transition.
Yeah, that's a really good transition.
Speaking of segues.
Yeah, so we are going to jump right back in. We get a close-up shot of Adam's face as he is leaving the protective emerald-like gates of Burlag, and we hear them slowly close, and bam, they bang as they shut. Mm-hmm. And with that, we see that you swallow pretty hard and just, you turn around and you look up and the 50 feet gate is completely closed. You are not in Burlag anymore.
Yeah. So we've crossed the threshold.
Yeah. And in front of you is a large wooden palisade. Mm-hmm. It's about 50 or so feet down the road. And there are lanterns. And the thing is, Lumen Row, immediately, because it's not on the plateau that Burlag is in, is always kind of covered in this slight foggy mist. So there is a fog emanating in the valley that Lumen Row is in. And you look down and you see lantern lights illuminating different parts of it, besides one giant beacon of light that seems to be this large structure on a hill that you assume might be the governor's house, or somewhere of importance, surrounded by a large wall, and there are tons of lights emanating from that.
Well, that's the main point of interest, effectively, that I can see.
Yeah, and everything else just looks dim. There's not a lot of light coming from a lot of the houses, almost as if none of them own light.
Yeah, we'll start our trek through the Hornet's Nest. I'm very, very wary of our surroundings. I try to keep very close to Colin.
Yeah, and you kind of you walk next to Colin, and the thing is that you make me a perception check, actually.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so you wouldn't have noticed, unless you were looking. But you look to the right and you notice that there are several dozen people in raggedy clothing sitting by the side of the gates of Burlag with little cups and other little things, trying not to make any sort of commotion, just a lot of them not even showing their faces, just holding these cups out, in hopes that someone will drop them a copper piece as they walk into Burlag or walk out of Burlag.
Okay, I'll sort of just tug Colin's shirt sleeve. Colin. Those. I just stick my thumb at them. Maybe we could ask them if there's a good place to stay the night. I mean, I could pay them a silver or two.
You whisper silver and, sir, like a guy gets up from the crowd and starts to walk towards you. And as he gestures with his hands towards you, multiple of his fingers on his left hand are mushed together like they've been broken horribly and not reset. And his wrist is also bent back. He has scars all over one side of his face, and he's missing an eye completely.
Okay.
And he walks up with the three fingers he has on his right hand and gestures towards you. But perhaps I could be of assistance. You said that you needed some help, with a place to stay?
Yeah,
and as he comes up, he smiles, and he has 3 teeth.
Yeah, I'm gonna instantly, the thing is, my natural response is just like, I just distance myself without making it visible that I'm afraid of him, because I definitely am. But I would also just like to see if he is hiding some other motive, like if there is the possibility that he will gut me and mug me, basically.
Okay, roll me an insight. Perception. Insight, perception. Sorry.
Yeah, either is the same thing for me, but insight, yeah.
Okay, insight.
Very suspicious of these people.
He seems to be semi-genuine.
Okay.
In his wanting to help you, most likely because of the silver you mentioned, not because he's a good person.
Yeah, understood.
But he seems desperate.
Okay. So, we might want to get away from your compatriots.
Right. You don't want to touch a lot of these folks. They got the rot. And he gestures over to some of them, and you realize that several of them are wrapping parts of their skin because a lot of their skin seems to be decaying and falling off.
Yeah.
a lot of them. They're very sick. As he says that, almost like clockwork, one of them just and as he does that, blood comes out and lands on his hand.
You don't have the rot, do you?
No, I'm one of the lucky ones. I know where all the good spots are to sleep, so I don't get it.
Good, very good. Yes, amputation has its uses. So,
Right.
yeah.
Follow me then. I'll show you a good spot, and maybe you'll be so kind to buy me something to eat.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. You see, Colin, they're reasonable people.
Yeah, Colin just kind of like looks at you, kind of raises an eyebrow, and
Just keep your
Alright
eyes
then.
out. Keep your eyes out for
Fine.
contemporaries with knives. I don't like knives. Coming.
yeah, you see Colin just kind of like he grabs the knife that he had in his handkerchief and he sticks it in part of his belt and then just covers it with one of his arms as he starts to walk.
Good plan. Yes. We
Yeah.
are coming.
Right, this way. And the guy starts to he's this little man who's hunched over and he just starts to walk. Very, very slowly, right? And he starts to walk towards the gates. And as you guys start to approach the gates of the row, you notice that there are multiple corpses hanging from the walls of Lumen Row, upside down, with their heads snapped. They look old, but they're just swaying in the wind. And they all have planks of wood boarded to their chests, are nailed to their chest.
Yeah. Any words?
Yeah. If you get closer, you can read it.
Yes, certainly.
So as you go, sorry, I just showed you an image.
Oh, beautiful.
As you get closer, it says in very crude writing, "This is an official announcement from the Watch. Throw yours down the river or join them. Welcome to the row. Signed, Constable Diedrich." Each of them are signed, sort of like some sort of warning.
Interesting. Constable fellow seems rather intelligible.
I'd avoid contact with him if I were you.
Why's that?
He points to his eye. Said something he didn't like.
So he took your eyeball.
Maybe. And he starts to walk.
Maybe we shall not engage this man.
And Colin just kind of like looks at the corpses and what did they do? Oh, them? They wanted to hold on to their loved ones, bury them. Don't do that here. Don't do that. My advice? Chop them up. Feed them to the dogs. Lots of dogs.
Oh, that's a rather grand idea.
They catch you with a corpse here, they string you up like these ones. String you up and scream for days and cut you down.
Understood.
Lucky if the bears don't get to you. And he starts to hobble past them. And yeah, you look, and the thing is, some of the corpses that are hanging up are like, they seem to be like, they would have been mothers, or, you know, there's a child hanging upside down too. It's seems to be all types of perpetrators of this crime are strung up on along the side of the wall, just as a heavy warning. Each of them have this plank nailed into their chest.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe we would do well to continue past this macabre scene. Yes.
Right. Fuck. I hate this place.
That doesn't seem so bad. I mean,
I hate this place, Adam.
I think if you keep your wits about you, we could make...
Yeah, your wits about you, and like as you say that, there's a bird inside of one of the open slack jaws of one of the corpses, using it to rest. And as it's like using its jaw to plant its feet on, it's digging into this thing's eyeball, just ripping parts of it out.
Yep. You know, a keen eye is a good thing to have in a place like this.
You only need one.
I like this man.
Right, this way. Almost inside now, almost inside. Just Don't say nothing to the guards when you go, and don't say nothing.
All right.
Hide your gold as well.
Indeed. Yeah, I, like, go into my obvious coin pouch, and, I'm going to sort of turn around so the guy who's been leading us can't see, but, like, he probably still can, because I'm not very good at hiding this sort of thing. And I want to take out the coin. I actually have a lot of money compared to the shit that people have here. I have 2.5 gold pieces. So, I'm going to take my gold pieces, and I'm going to put 1 in my right boot, and I'm going to put 1, basically between the leather of my belt and the buckle, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a good place to hide it.
The silver I'll keep. I'll keep in the pouch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you guys approach the gate, there are 2 guardsmen standing on either side of the gate with these long spears, and one of them looks drunk as he's sort of leaning on his spear and swaying back and forth. And this is the gate of Lumen Row. Just below it, don't go to the image below. The image below is on the inside.
Certainly,
I've just attached to. Yep.
But
that's what the gate would look like. It's this very, very crude palisade with a large tower and just, a big gate. They stand there. State your business.
Travel.
Through here? Just like that?
Yes.
2 minutes. What do you say? And the other guy just looks at him and, fuck, just let them through. I have time for this. Stay safe. And the drunken one goes up and just starts to slowly push open the gate. And as he does, the wood creaks heavily and starts to bend slightly as you notice that the gate itself has water damage.
Oh.
Like that rot, Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just pushes it in and it makes that awful bending wood like crunch. I don't know if you've heard that before when you walk on like a wet plank and it makes that awful creak, but it's like that slippery. That's
like
what
a
it makes.
sucking noise with a creak.
Yeah. He pushes it open and revealing the inside, and then you can go to the other image. And this is what you see is a street of tightly packed homes made just from those wooden frames, and then it's that plaster for walls.
Yeah.
Most of the roofs have shingles that are falling off or just large holes in them. This looks like it would have been a relatively nice place about 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, not so much. This has not been upkept at all in any way. There is a stench of death and feces as the gate opens. And one of the very first things you see laying in a puddle of water is somebody that you presume might be dead. You're not sure.
I'm just going to very briefly give him a look over. Like, what kind of... If I had to guess... If I had a first impression of this man, if I just saw him standing in the street, who might I guess he is? Like...
The body?
Yes.
Well, the thing is, he's completely naked.
Mm-hmm.
And he is skin and bone. You can see every single... You can count the ribs up his back.
Okay. Is there... I know we're a distance away right now, but is there an obvious cause of death?
Well, go... I mean, you can give me a perception.
Yeah. Without getting too close. I want to stay more than 5 feet away from him. Because I know what happens to the dead. So yeah, I will give a perception. 7.
Oh yeah, so you are trying to look him over, and you don't really notice anything. Colin actually points out to you that, fuck, he's still breathing.
What?
And you see that there are shallow breaths in and out coming from this man, and yeah, he is just laying in this mud.
Sir? Sir? Hey! Credit. To the guy who...
I leave him.
Who is he?
He just looks. I don't know.
What has befallen him?
He points, and you notice that it was being perfectly covered. There are 2 rats feasting on the back skin of the back of this guy's head.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask questions. We just leave them. Guards pick them up. Dogs eat them. You know, don't touch him. You don't want to be caught with something like that. Strung up, you will. Must have been thrown out by loved ones. Wasn't gonna make it.
We should keep moving. We should continue moving. Yes? Colin? No one? Good, let's go.
Right. And as he passes by, he spits on the ground and does this small thing with his hands where he touches either side of his jaw.
Yeah.
He goes as he passes by.
Yeah. I give the body a wide berth and just kind of mentally remark on the ritual he just did.
Yeah.
Try to remember it.
Yeah. And you guys start splashing your way into the row, and the thing is that your boots are going to be covered in mud unless you're walking very specifically. Because you see how in the picture there are large bits of water in the center of the street because the world has warped to where people have walked, right? Yeah. So it's sort of like a trench where there is water and mud through. Yeah. Because any rain that comes in goes down the roofs and goes and collects in the middle of the road.
Certainly, I think
there's no cobbles.
I think I give it my best effort, but I feel like this man leading us isn't gonna necessarily do us the pleasure of like slowing down so much. So the thing is, I'm trying to keep a decent pace. The mud will take to my boots. I make sure it doesn't get in them, but yeah, they'll get dirty.
Okay. And they're getting dirty as you're walking, and you guys are walking by a large building that's lit up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the building, it seems to be some sort of like blacksmith or weaponsmith of some kind. It has a sword sign that's just hanging very loosely. It's rusted. It doesn't have any sort of title or markings, though, to indicate what the building would be called.
Just a smithy.
Yeah.
A weaponsmith, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. A weaponsmith.
And yeah, you guys pass by, and there is bits of that foggy glass that beyond it there's a lot of light coming from, but it's not illuminating too much out onto the street. And once again, that thick kind of fog kind of hugs the ground and the earth as you guys are walking, even though it is like still sort of midday. You just have this eerie, like downtrodden, awful feeling about this place.
Yeah, God.
Like it's covered and veiled in just sorrow and
it's
suffering.
Like a horror park. Like it's got this perpetual fog that's everywhere.
Yeah, it's just this. It's like the atmosphere is literally physical here. Like,
yeah. Is there like just a stone on the ground anywhere?
Yes, many.
Yeah, I just want to pick up the least mucky, which I know is going to be hard, but I just the one around me that is I least have to clean off, basically. Just a stone, a little bigger than a pebble. Yeah. I just want to look at it as we're walking, like, piece of our new home, if you will, Colin. Drop it in a pocket.
Colin just kind of looks at you and like sighs.
For that is what this place shall be.
Let's hope not for long.
We can hope, but we will. But the facts are what they are.
I don't think we're going to last in a place like this.
That's why you're wrong. With wits, intelligence. People from around here have no such thing.
He just like looks at you, just sort of, kind of looking at you, just like,
so
wow,
cocky?
You were so wet behind the ears.
Yeah. Like, how do I know nothing about the world. Yeah.
And you guys continue on.
Yep.
And as you guys continue on down the road, there is a group of men sitting on a stoop, and they're all kind of laughing. One of them pushes the other one, and just like they're doing like a play scrap. It's not too malicious.
Certainly.
And you can hear the sound of dice being cast. Mm-hmm. And almost like immediately as they notice you and the way that you guys are dressed, the laughter stops, and each of them turn their head towards you like, oh, new people. And one of them, the more springy of them, just kind of immediately gets up off the stoop and, Oh, hey there. You lost?
Well, no, we have a guide, in fact.
Right.
Nod to the guide.
Guide, huh? Yeah, and he just looks over and, they're mine. She told him they give him a good place to, and the guy goes up and clocks this old man straight in the jaw as you hear a crunch, and this old man hits the ground just immediately. Oh, blimey, looks like you Don't have a guide anymore, huh? How much you promise him?
Silver?
Right. Make it 2 silver and I'll clean this up so the guards don't pin it on you. And I'll show you a good place. And as he says that, a couple of the guys start to get up and, kind of like a wolf pack. One goes one way, one goes the other way. They're all looking at you. There's some nice boots you got. What size are they?
Come, rather. Mucky. I glance at Colin for just a split second to see his take, but I already know what I'm gonna do.
He looks at you, and Colin just starts to slowly back up into an alley.
I look at him with a pleading face, like...
He's just like, Adam?
Yeah. So he's just like leaving. He's expunging
himself.
Yeah.
He's backing up because the thing is, they're starting to surround you on the street, right?
Certainly.
So he's going in between 2 of the houses, just backing up.
Yeah, and he's lithe enough, stealth enough to do that. Yeah. I'm standing my ground, but I'm obviously trembling. This is not my place in the world. I'm looking around like, it seems that you've an employer. By all means, please.
Right. What size are they, elf?
Boots?
Right.
Quite small.
See, Frank don't have any boots, do you, Frank? And you're, no, I don't.
Quite small, really.
Frank's feet is rotten because of all the water, ain't they, Frank? That's right, they are.
I'm terribly sorry. You should see a physician for that.
That's right.
But they're very small. My mother bought them for me as a birthday present.
And he just pulls out from like inside his pant leg, like he just lifts it up, and there's this little wooden cudgel that is obviously used to be maybe a table leg or something.
Yeah,
and there's
certainly,
little bits of glass and stuff like with twine wrapped around it. So it's this shanty-made club with like rotten wood.
Yeah.
And he just pulls it out and, how about you hand over your silver and your boots, your pants, shirt, and I won't fucking beat you to death. What do you say?
Oh my.
I don't think he's gonna do it. Maybe we should just kill him.
I think I'm going to do it. Like I look like I'm in the process of soiling myself, but there's no stain yet.
Yeah. So you're just standing there, and you feel the brush of somebody brush past your right side.
Yeah.
And Colm walks in front of you, and he's brandishing the little knife that he stole off the
bench. Yeah.
Off the table of the gentleman. Yeah. And he holds it out in front of him and. Well.
Colin, what are you doing?
Colin, shut up.
Okay.
Back up, Adam.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
I turn so our backs are to each other, and I want to get as resolute a face as I can manage.
Yeah, well, and at this point, he's backing up, and the men are sort of closing in, and he just... Oh, where would you look at this, boys?
Yeah.
What's that? I ain't seen a knife that small. Oh, I have. Didn't work, though. Like the bigger one just kind of says, as they just start to pull out clubs, and... I guess we will have to beat you to death.
Hey, just hold on.
If any of you come near us, I'll stab you, as he just says, as he's just backing up. Yeah. And at this point, you guys are being backed into an alleyway.
Perfect. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are being backed into an alleyway. And you guys back up more and more till you guys feel a wall at your back.
Perfect. Shit. Okay.
And we are going to go over to a beautiful little map here.
Oh no.
No. You're fine.
So we're going to go over to a beautiful little map here.
Yep.
There's no way they don't both get slaughtered in this scene.
But
not gonna happen.
Funny thing, Bajan actually has a perfect thing for this.
I do, but we'll see.
Well, so here's the thing. We are we're backing up. So you guys are backing up. You hit the wall, and we go to the perspective of a little girl sitting on the shoulder of a giant orc. As you guys are coming down an alleyway, you see 2 very well-dressed men, comparatively to what you've seen, backing up, and multiple ruffians that you know are people that are that would do harm to you if you weren't so big, Dusty. They've maybe messed with you before. They are closing in on these two gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm sort of like, my face is just sort of like normal like this, and then I see it and I'm like,
You reckon we should help them?
they're doing that bullying thing, aren't they? And like he sort of like starts to like do this with his head like like that. Ooh. And he starts to like his eyes get like fucking wide.
Puffy. Oh,
and looks really angry.
Yeah, and she looks and, well, remember, Dusty, just if we help these two, they might be able to give us some money for it, so don't make it too gross, big guy, please. As she just kind of pats you on the neck, and she just gets off you.
Yeah, and he's like that, and he sort of loosens his shirt.
Careful, please. And with that, we're going to roll initiative.
Shit.
If that's okay. First combat of the game, boys.
Do you mind giving me visuals on this fight, Brennan?
That's right.
Yeah. So so I will give you guys visuals of.
I think if you click the token and say like all players can see light or something like that, on one of our
all players see light. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should do it.
Do you guys see?
I see down this bit here.
No,
I see nothing.
Dick butt. Gotta love Roll20 dynamic lighting, ladies and gentlemen.
I know, it's annoying as fuck.
It's annoying,
well,
but
you guys
beautiful.
can watch on the stream if you want. I know it's annoying, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it.
Okay,
Yeah, no.
I'll try to.
Yeah. I mean, your guys aren't the lives that are at stake here.
But yeah, it's a very simple battle map. It's pretty well constructed.
Oh, fuck. So I take it that behind us is this wall that we've run into.
Yes.
Okay. Shit. Yeah, let's get some initiatives. This is gonna be so.
So this
fun.
is Colin's an 8. Mother is a 4.
Yes.
Katerin is not going to get involved unless Dusty gets hurt. So Dusty, you can roll yourself.
Did it? I'm a 10. I didn't click myself though. God damn it.
Okay, so add.
He's adding you. You're good.
Yeah, I'll add you.
Nice.
Oh, I always forget to add myself.
There you go.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
so let's see.
Really bad.
So how many mugs out there? There's 2, isn't there? Or are there like?
Yeah, you can see 2 gentlemen. So Adam, you feel the back against your wall, and these 2 men are just pressing down on you. And all right, which one's it gonna be first? You or you? And he points the club straight at you. And you notice that there's a small bit of flesh in part of the glass on part of it.
Yeah, like, thing is, for a split second, Adam has this image in his head of him rushing in front of Colin and being like, "You!" Like, really heroically, and then he thinks better of it and starts looking around. Are these houses?
Yes. You look at the house to your left, to your right. That's a tower.
Okay.
Which is brick, and to your right is a house that has multiple windows, but they are all fully boarded up.
Okay.
To your left is a crumbled wall that is high, but you might be able to climb over it. To your right is a clear alleyway.
Okay, my question is, on this tower, is there any kind of scaffolding at all? Like, maybe, I don't know, I might be pulling at straws here. Like, I'm looking for basic...
perception.
Okay.
Because I want to see if you notice something.
Okay. Would this take my action?
No. This is just something, because this is
16?
like before you choose to act, because you're looking around, right?
Yes.
I was going to make you make this, but I wanted to describe what Dusty saw.
Okay. Certainly.
So
16.
you notice that the inner segment of the tower is completely caved in and collapsed, so it's not even in use anymore. So there isn't any scaffolding or any bits on the end of it there. Like, if that makes sense. Like, the entire inner section of it has been crumbled in, because you can see that there are bits of planks sticking up. And
I think I understand. Okay. This might be helpful to me then. Sorry, this might take...
It's okay, guys. The reason he's taking so long is Bajan is 1 HP. If I attack him and do 2 HP, he is instantly dead.
Yep. Do I see the Orky boy and his friend?
Can you see him right now?
I can see Katerin.
Okay, you can see a little girl. You can't see the orc.
Of course, yes. And they are both focusing on me right now.
And if you did see a big orc, you might assume that he's part of the bad
That's
people.
true, yeah, very much so. Okay, well, in that case, I think I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I just kind of glance at Colin, and just glance at them, be like, you should run! And, I am going to... This isn't really gonna fuck me too bad, but we'll see. I am going to cast Burning Hands. Straight down here. And I'm just gonna also shout, should run! Also duck! And I'm gonna raise my hands
and he looks at you, what?
Cast my spell.
Okay.
Yep. Well, that's nice. Basically, they need to make me dex saves. I don't know why the macro is broken for the spell. Nice. Okay, the second one makes it. They're going to take... The second one is going to take half of this.
Nice.
Okay, so you do this, and both of these guys just... What the fuck? And it just goes, and they both engulf in flames. Their ragged robes catching on fire, and both of them start to scream and try and put themselves out as they fall. What?
The funny thing is, I don't even want to be there to see what happens. I want to run as soon as the flames leave my hands. I want to run. But yeah.
Yeah, so you hear the screams of these two gentlemen, but Dusty, you see these two men like a dragon just spit fire, get up in flames, and one of them's like, oh fuck, put it out, fuck! And they go to the ground. Both of them are completely charred and dead.
Damn.
Bajan, while you were there, make me a dex save.
I can do that. Yeah. Also, I just realized something. The stream can't see everything that's going on if I can't like see the map. I just realized that. It's something we can figure out later. But dex save.
That's okay that they can't see everything.
Fail.
That's fine. I want them to see from your perspective.
Okay, got it. Failure.
Okay, so you ran up this way.
Yes, I ran to the right.
When you go this way,
yes.
You are tripped. A leg sticks out the side, and you immediately stumble, and you are going to be knocked around.
Oh no, I'm prone?
Yep.
Shit. All right.
There is a man standing there. Sorry, he's supposed to be right here.
Did you say that I was? Did you say that I like lost my turn, or he simply tripped me?
He tripped you.
Okay, so
how much movement would you have left to get back up?
Oh, none. But I'm gonna use my last thing that I can do on my turn, my bonus action, to do the last thing that I can do. And if I look behind me, this is all happening in 6 seconds, so it's ridiculous. But if I look behind me, do I see Big Orc Man?
Yeah, you can see a big orc lumbering
that's right.
towards
No,
you.
yeah, I don't know who the hell he is. I'm going to... Do I see this roof? Like, can I see the tiles of this roof? I want to use Misty Step to teleport myself to the roof of this building.
Okay.
So I'm going to point and just be like, ah! I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I think I'm going to die.
Yep.
And I'm teleporting over to here, just on the edge of the
Yeah,
roof.
and you just immediately, you're like, how does that look, by the way? Is it just like a poof of smoke?
So, like, the thing is, the way that the spell is normally supposed to work is you disappear into fog and reappear into fog there. But since this is given to me by a sort of learned ability, basically, that I researched, but also innate to my elven heritage, I like to think that I point and I will myself to be transported, basically, as a result of, like, an intradimensional arcane
Okay, so
thing.
what it would kind of look like is, you know how you can see heat waves on the horizon? It looks like a bunch of heat waves start to form, and then they twist, and then you are just like you know when you look at a reflection of water and it gets distorted?
Yeah.
The mugger is looking above you, and he has a knife, and he's about to stab it into you, and he looks at you, and you turn into this warped image, and he's like, what the fuck? And immediately you're just like, you're just gone, right? It's like,
yeah.
What the shit? And he looks up at you, and you're on the roof, kind of like in the fetal position, like, Jesus Christ, like...
Yeah, I'm still screaming. So, like, I'm about to teleport, and I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
That's me. That is it.
So yeah, Dusty, it's your turn. You see this elf like sputtering up on the roof.
Yeah, I almost get distracted for a second, but then my eyes are trained back on this man, and I'm just saying the words bully constantly, like silently under my breath. So I like walk forwards. I think I can make it here.
Yeah. So you go up to him and he's just like, "Hey, who the fuck let you off your leash?"
Shit.
And as you go up to swing at him,
I don't know why I clicked down.
He's like, "Oh shit!" And he goes down and he ducks as your big fist just plows straight into a pillar behind him, just cracking it in half, and a lot of the hay falls off of the roof. And he's like, "Shit." Colm is going to try and figure out what happened to Adam. So he's running. Adam! And as soon as he comes up here, he sees what's happening with this orc, and he sees this, and he's like, "Oh!" And he immediately runs back this way. He immediately runs.
What a pair you two make.
Yeah. And the mugger is like, "Right, you think you're so fucking tough?" And he comes up and he's going to try and swing this at you.
Yeah, I'm fine.
And the thing is, he does swing it straight at you. You put your wrist up and it snaps in half on your wrist. And he's like, fuck. And this one from behind is going to run up. Yeah, he can make it. So a guy runs up from behind you and is going to try and hit you in the back of the head, Dusty.
Woo! No.
And so he comes up and swings, and the thing is that you had just like put your arm up, so you ducked a little bit, and he swings straight over your head, like, fuck! Adam.
So I like to think that as I teleport, I almost roll off the roof because I'm still prone. I'm just like, oh! And I just catch myself.
So you can see very clearly now, Adam, that this big orc is fighting these two.
And yeah, so he is not necessarily an ally, but certainly an aggressor against my aggressors, the enemy of my enemy, perhaps. Yeah. Thing is, this is life or death, and I'm going to use my movement to stand up. And
that's half your movement. So.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not using the rest of it yet. And what I'm gonna do, oh god, this seems like you're in a terrible situation, Dusty.
Yeah, he's got two men between him. And you've seen him take multiple hits. You can't see because of you're not close, but all you've seen is him get hit by clubs. You don't know that it literally has done nothing.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is because I don't think that I could hit both of them reliably with something, I'm going to raise my hands again, like I couldn't believe it worked the first time, but again, and I incant again my burning hands.
Are you gonna hit me with it?
No, it will only hit him.
The one below him?
Just the one behind you. Yeah, who just tried to hit you in the head. That is the only thing.
No, that's not what I meant. Dex save?
That'll make it.
Okay, he did a 19.
So he will take half of 14 again.
Okay, so you go and the back of his cloak catches on fire, and you feel this guy grab onto the back of you, Dusty, as he's screaming, and he falls to the ground just completely charred. This awful smell filling your nostrils as this burning corpse lands behind you.
That's me. That's it.
Dusty.
I kind of like shrug the burning body off my back as if like someone's like patting me annoyingly, and then I just like full on punch the bone.
Okay, you win, all right? You win. This guy puts his hands up, and as you go, to roll me damage, you go, and he's like, all right, you win, and he backs up against the wall, and you punch his head straight into the wall, and you see his fist connect with this guy's head. He hits the wall, and you see his neck break as he goes and he hits the ground. Just the sheer weight of Dusty's fist crunching this guy's neck. And the guy falls to the ground with a sickening crunch as he is dead.
Yeah, and I like immediately like turn around to see if like the other guy. Obviously he's dead, and I'm just like about shaking with like the rage at my fingers.
Yeah.
Fuck me, man.
And you guys are alive.
Woo! I just want to make note. If I hadn't won initiative, if I hadn't gone first, I would have almost certainly died.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked out. Instead, I killed 3 people.
And
Power of being a wizard.
Brennan, Dusty immediately, like, his sort of forms goes from, like, being sort of really, like, powerful build looking to slumped. And he puts his face in his hands. And he, like, puts his hands out and, like, walks towards Karen.
Yeah, and Adam, you see this little girl come up, and immediately as she approaches this orc, he gets down on one knee, and she goes out to reach his big arm and just look at it. And, you all right? It hurt you, did they?
They were just so mean. I had to do it.
Yeah, and you feel this little hand come up and touch the side of your jaw, which barely takes up a section of it, and she just starts to stroke the side of your head, just shh. Now, it's all right. You did the right thing. It's okay. You did the right thing. What would you? You would have done that for me. I know you would have.
Yeah, and he's like can't find the words to say, and he's just sort of like his head is slumped like this.
Yeah, and you just see this little girl just comforting this thing as Colm just walks out from the alleyway, just past the two smoking corpses that you originally killed, and he just looks up at you and just waves.
Help me down.
Right. And he just kind of skitters past the orc, like keeping a wide berth from him, and goes over, and he just holds his hands up like,
"Yep,
that was incredible. How did you do?" And he just reaches up.
Yeah. I very gingerly start getting myself off because I suck at climbing. That's one thing I've been terrible at since childhood.
All right, so I'm gonna see if he can catch you.
Shit, I'm trying to sort of like, I'm trying to basically let myself down feet first, so maybe he can grab onto me, take some of the weight. Seems that he can't. What does that mean for me?
So it's a good plan, but he goes, and as you go
let go
to let go, you land on him. You both just crunch to the ground. It's not a super tall roof. It was about maybe like 7 or 8 feet. It's a little shaky.
Thank God.
So yeah, you're not like you didn't die or anything. So you will just slam into the mud. The entire side of your clothing now is covered in muck. Same with Colm.
I think I broke my coccyx. Oh
God.
Would you check, Colin? I turn slightly to the side and just like
he just looks at you just like ugh. And he puts his head down in the mud and looks up, and at this point, like, Dusty and Cataran are both just staring at you.
Hello? I swear to you that any money that they would have taken from me is yours. Please don't hurt me. Us.
She just lets out a little laugh and puts her hand up under.
I am at your mercy.
Yeah, and he just sort of like Dusty sort of you see like the tears sort of in his eyes, but he's looking at him like he normally would. You suspect with like this sort of gormless look on his face. And he's like, "I didn't hurt you, did they?"
Like, I look down at where I might have scuffed my hand on the gravel when he tripped me, and I'm like, just a scratch.
Yeah, and like Dusty like really quickly like moves forwards. And he sort of like takes your hand, not like roughly, but sort of with his fingers.
I still scream a little bit.
And he's like, "I'll go on for this," like that. He's like, and he sort of like uses 2 fingers to like pat like the wound on your hand, whatever. He's like, "You'll be alright now, mate. Alright."
Sir, you are unlike any orc I have ever experienced in my existence.
You've experienced orcs before?
Well, some of the families bordering my own household kept them as like movers, slaves.
Pardon me, sir.
Oh.
Yeah. As she just comes around the side and just like kind of like looks at you.
I scream at her.
Mention silver.
Sorry?
Seeing as how we got you out of a mess, really.
You can have it all. Take it. Yeah, I take my pouch off of my side. I'm like, ah! I just hold it out to Dusty.
Without even a slight second's hesitation that you might expect from a child, her little hands grab the bag as if it was literally the key, like the golden ticket. She just grabs it and it's immediately stuffed into her pocket in her dress.
Yeah, and I'm like, and who are you?
Thank you kindly. And she does like a small like curtsy.
Yeah. Who are you?
And then before you even finish that sentence, he's like, "My name's what was it again? Dusty." Yeah, that's the one.
Right, I'm Catherine, and this is Dusty, my big brother.
Katarine, Dusty.
Yeah, and she just kind of goes up and she like leans on him. She like leans on his leg and like put like like the peanut guy, how he just like leans.
Yeah,
yeah. She does that pose, but just kind of like leans up against. And this is my big brother, Dusty.
I take it it's not a blood relation, more of a necessity arrangement, yes?
Colin just kind of gets up and, well, thank you too. I don't know what we would have. I don't know what we would have done without you.
What he said.
Wait, he's one of them, and he sort of like snaps his finger. He's one of them horny fellas. What are they called?
What?
Dusty, I told you that's different.
No. That is slang for someone who is constantly
quite
sexually
all right.
aroused.
It's quite all right,
Things-
Adam. Yes,
Superly or what?
I'm a tiefling.
He's a tiefling.
Thief.
World changes. You know.
Where'd I
Right.
come from then?
He just kind of like stops.
Well,
I can't read. I don't know.
wait, you can't read?
I worked in the library for a reason.
But
Yeah, words
I
is just
told you I
nonsense anyway,
sort
mate.
the
don't worry
books.
about
I don't read them. That's
how do you sort the books if you can't read the labeling and the implementation of just forget about it.
I'll explain. And like as you guys are doing that, Karen
Yeah.
just kind of starts like tugging on your pants, Dusty.
I swear I have no more than what I've given.
We should
Right.
go.
Okay. Wait, do you have somewhere safe? You have somewhere
Did
safe?
we do anything with these meanies?
Yes. We should take their belongings. Sorry. As soon as I look at the guy's corpse who's closest to us, I stare at him for a second, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he's completely
I
burned.
turn and hurl. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like Katerin just goes and climbs up onto your shoulder and let's get going. Don't want to be out when the mongrels are.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know
this
what
is
the
all-
mongrels are, Dusty, and you know to be scared of them.
They're like fluffy dogs, but not fluffy. Just angry.
And pardon me, mongrels. What?
Yeah, like, you know.
Oh,
Rabid
not
dog.
very
Fluffy
nice
little-
doggies.
Yeah, that one.
They eat people that are out on the streets at night. The guards
Oh.
let them loose.
Oh.
Deal with the ones of undeaf and all that.
Oh.
Hold up.
We should go immediately.
They look, and like he points his finger and he's like, nobles, right?
No.
You them knobbly types.
No. Yeah, I looked at Colin and just like, no. Nobles. No.
Well, you know. Where'd you get those swanky threads from?
I'm a student of the institution of well, there's no point in telling you the whole name. You won't remember.
Right, sorry, wasting time.
We should go. Safe place. Let's go to the safe place. Come.
You need a safe place? We have a safe place.
Dusty.
I like safe place.
We don't know if we can trust them. She looks at you and
can
just kind of
trust us.
crosses her arms and looks at you too.
You can trust us. We are trustworthy. I am trusting. Ed.
Well, they don't look like bullies to me. He could bully a frog.
No, wouldn't hurt a fly. Just glance at the scalded corpse and like, wouldn't hurt a fly.
Well, maybe a Lodi you'll like to see him, seeing as how he can do magic.
Yeah, Lottie. We should take him to him immediately.
Do you have a mage in residence? We must go. I must meet her.
Right, and Jormund as well. He might like you, but he'll be able to tell me if you're trustworthy or not. And she just looks. But
Good thing.
I have to warn you. You have to earn your keep when you stay with us. No bed's free.
Yes. I would expect
That means food and more silver.
Surely.
And that's yeah. And she's like, and that's that. And she puts her like hands on her hips,
I guarantee we will pay our way. Can we go? It's getting dark.
Yeah. Right, coming in, and I like go to like pick you up, you're on my shoulder.
Me?
Yeah, both of you there, Colin.
Oh god, yeah. Oh god, he could probably pick up Adam.
Oh, easily. I'm pretty sure I weigh 100 pounds. Period.
Oh god, you're a tiny little man.
You could pick me up like a barrel of ale.
And Colin just kind of like walks behind, just, well, thank you, Dusty.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Dusty.
Yeah, as you guys start to walk down the street, and at this point, as you guys are walking down the street, there are a lot of shutters being shut from the inside, and you hear people bolting their doors. Like anybody that's fortunate enough to have the inside of a place, they start bolting up, and you hear chairs being put in front of things, and you also see a bunch of people that are on this street. There's a bunch of street kids that are climbing the wall up on top of like a decrepit tower just to get off the street level.
Yeah.
You see a lot of weird commotion like this as people are clearing the streets because it's starting to get dark.
Yep.
And as you guys are walking, make me a perception.
All of us?
Yeah. Okay, that's enough. I'll just describe it from Adam's perspective, because to you, Dusty, it would be nothing. Like you see it, but you just completely ignore it. You see, Adam, there is a disgusting man leant over a rat, and he is chewing it just like a rabid animal down one of the alleyways. This man's skull is exposed on the top half of his head, and his guts are hanging out.
That man is no man. He devours a rodent as though it is corn on the cob. He says he undead. What is it?
Yeah, and he just... I told you they don't get rid of them here.
Oh, God. Let's go. Could
Yeah.
eat us.
That's what the mongrels are for. They eat them.
Yeah,
And
so they
some
don't eat us.
live people too. But that's why you don't stay out on the streets at night.
Yes. Of course. Yes. Right. Yes. Indeed.
And you guys, if you don't have anything else, I just wanted to get the introduction of the undead, because it is a presence here. You guys start making your way.
Done.
Sounds good.
And you guys start making your way, but we are going to cut. We are going to cut 1 second to, where is it? We get the crackling of a fire, and we are somewhere that has stone walls. There is water dripping, and a chain hanging from the roof. And there are different cloths and bits of parchment stuck up on the walls, and there's a big cauldron above this fire. And there's a little old woman, and she is stirring this large pot. And she's there stirring this large pot and pouring different ingredients and other types of things into this disgusting brown water. As she stirs with her big spoon, that as we pull out, it looks like a spoon, but then we're like, oh, it's her walking stick that she's stirring with. It just you would presume it was a spoon in a close-up. An eyeball floats to the top of the water and then goes back down. And we see a tiefling man with his arms crossed standing over this brew that's being made, with this crippled old lady just stirring the pot. We see Jormund. Jormund, if you would like to describe what you're doing and what who you are.
Yeah. As far as what I'm doing, I'm just arms crossed, looking bemused and curious, looking at what she's doing. And if you took a look at him, he's got these two horns that just kind of meld on top of his skull and then pointing out back. Skin a very deep red. He's rather tall, but he's just...
Will you hand me a bit of the wheatgrass, dear?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, and I just go over.
Yeah, and she just holds out one of her little palms that's wrapped. That's Elodie, by the way. This little old woman that's stirring this pot.
Here you are.
Thank you, dear.
course.
And she grabs it and just starts to crush this wheatgrass with her nails, which are incredibly long and grotesque. And she starts to grind them up and just dip bits of this into the into the water. And as she does this, the water starts to sear, and this sort of purple smoke comes out of it and wafts up into her nose and past her head as she looks at it. Yes, I believe that will do. And she just looks, and she goes up and she just sniffs and then takes a drink out of part of it. And she takes a long gulp. We get drops that go down the sides of her mouth. What were you gonna say, Jormund?
Has she told me what this is supposed to be? No,
not even at all. But you know that she is somebody that brews potions and has magical abilities. So you don't really ask her too many questions because she's sort of a homebody and a busybody as well. But the thing is that for some reason today she's asked you for your assistance. So you've been kind of passively and quietly observing her and helping her with what she needs.
Yeah, can I try and see if I can figure out what's going on just by the ingredients and whatnot? Arcana?
Yes.
All right. Go.
Okay, so you were looking at this. You are unaware of what sort of potion this would be, because any sort of potion that you're aware of wouldn't contain these bizarre ingredients like to help you. You haven't really heard of something like this before. So it must be something that from her land that she comes from, or her practice that she practices. Like, you're unaware with your conventional magic knowledge, like what she would be doing.
Yeah. Just continue to watch.
Yeah. And she goes up, and as she's drinking, she takes off her hood and starts to untighten the bun on her hair and lets the long white hair that's almost goes down to her knees sort of fall. And she holds up a part of her hair and starts to look, and you see at the root of her hair, this long white hair starts to turn this rich, beautiful black and starts to return the pigment of her hair back to what it was from this gray.
Yeah. I look at her skin. Does her skin seem to be changing at all? Like the wrinkles or anything?
Yes. And the liver spots on her hands start to change, and she starts to get less wrinkly, and she's looking quite pleased with herself. Just, well, that wasn't as hard as I remember it being.
I'm glad I didn't steal a taste. I don't have that many years to lose.
No, you don't. And she looks at herself, and as she starts to say that, you see that the black color of her hair starts to fade to white again. And she's, no. I added each of the... Ah! And as she does that, she goes, ah! And just the pot and everything in the room just shakes, and the pot gets knocked over just with her voice as it just spills, and the fire goes out. Ah! Be damned. Why can't I ever get this to work?
We'll get it.
She just spits several times.
Don't worry. We can try again.
And she looks over at you, and this illusion that she puts up of herself of being this helpless old woman is starting to fade as she's letting you see herself, and her eyes are this bright purple, and she has this mouth that's almost like a beak, and she has feathers sticking out of part of her back, and she has this long, decrepit body, very obviously not an old woman, which she puts the guise of. I need fresher rat tails if this is going to work.
Well, we're in the right place for such things, of course.
Right. I apologize. I didn't mean to be so unpleasant. And she looks up at you and lets out a smile.
No worries. We all have things we are working on down here.
Right.
I've wanted to ask you, actually. What would be the implications if I were to go upside, take one of the mongrel feeding post and hold it down here for a few days in one of the crypts. Hypothetically.
And she just looks at you and lets out this long, just breathy sound of like excitement. She just puts her hand up to her mouth.
And what would be the purpose of one with the gift of undeath? The funnel.
I am assuming you've seen me perusing certain texts around my quarters.
She just kind of looks to the side and...
I can hear your thoughts when you're sleeping.
Well, then fantastic. You've cut out the middleman. Seeming completely unfazed that she's read his mind.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, you guys have, by the way, you guys have a long history of debating magical ethics a lot. Because you both are people of sort of more twisted magic. Mm-hmm. So you guys always are having debates, but you like kind of respect each other.
Well, okay. In that case, you know exactly where I'm at. Yes, I need its heart. And I'm not exactly sure what will happen. I know one thing that will happen, and then everything else is unknown. And I'm very excited to find out.
You want to request an audience from him, do you?
And she just lets out a smile.
Yes. More than I've wanted anything in a while.
Yes, the body of worms visits those that eat the heart of those gifted with undeath. Do as you will, but bring the heart to me first. I can inspect to make sure it is not stricken with rot. Wouldn't want you dying on me now. Not yet.
I can't help you with your potion if I'm not around. Yeah.
And as she's about to say precisely, the bell rings. The bell rings announcing somebody's entrance.
As soon as that does that, I just kind of go to put up some of the more implicating things that we've been working with.
And as she just...
We'll have to speak of this another time, dear.
And as she goes back to her old woman self.
Yeah, I help her clean up as quickly as I can, then I go back to my place.
Right. Just bring it to me first. And...
I will do so.
Go great.
Pleasure, as always, my lady. And I do a slight bow.
Yeah, she gives you a slight bow as well, and she goes to sit on this part of the crypt that she's laid out her mat for herself, and she turns back into the helpless old woman that you're used to seeing, that sort of seems aloof and not there. Mm-hmm. Just putting on this guise of complete helplessness to disguise herself as she just sits back. And Adam, you are on the shoulder of Dusty.
Dusty, yeah.
And there is this skinny man with 2 black patches over his eyes, standing next to a pillar at the entrance of this hole in the ground, essentially, that is a couple stairs that go down into this darkness. And he's standing there, and as soon as you guys are partly approaching, he can hear the shift in weight of Dusty, and he knows that there are new people, so he rings this little bell, and it just lets out a tiny chime as he does that.
Creepy as fuck.
Who's that man there? I whisper to Dusty.
Do I know his name?
Yeah, this is Bell.
Yeah, okay, Bell.
That's the bell fella. He likes to ring that little clatterer.
Uh-oh.
He's our watchdog. If anyone new or someone who shouldn't be here comes about, he rings a bell.
Was my voice audible when I did that?
Yeah, it was.
Good, yeah.
He can't see anything, but he knows. He knows.
And as she passes by, she grabs a piece of silver from the coin purse that you gave her, and she drops it into his cup, and you see this slight smile crack on his face.
Thank you, Belle.
And yeah, it's just like this slight smile cracks on his face as he just turns back into this almost statue-like person, just standing at the front entrance to this place. And Dusty starts to go down, and you have to get off his shoulder because the
Clearance
roof would be too small.
Yeah.
But as you go down, you can read on the side that there is in stone, very, very extravagantly carved, the skeleton of a human going about the archway of this place. And then on the side it says something crypt. You can't make out the name anymore, and over that has been scratched out, and it says the funnel, carved very crudely into the stone.
Okay. The funnel? Is that what that says?
Yeah, the funnel.
Why
A
do they
lot
call it the
snugglier than a lot of places I've stayed before. Or, well, the other one.
Snugglier.
Don't worry, you'll be snug as a bug, mate. Trust
It's
me.
a safe place. Safe place.
Yeah.
Is it waterlogged? He just looks down, and there is water, a bunch of it. Like, they're just barely these little planks that you can walk on to not step in the water. But the water would be about knee height for you, Adam, if you were to fall in it.
Interesting. Mayhaps we could design some kind of filtration system. I imagine clean water's hard to come by here, yes?
Yeah, and as you guys are talking, I take a shoe off and twinkle my toes in the water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
The old lady, she keeps the water clean here. Don't tell anyone, though. Makes it hard, you know? It's mostly sewage before she does her thing to it.
Interesting. So she makes it clean.
Right, she does a lot of things.
This is the Elodie you spoke of earlier.
Right. She'll tell us if you're okay to stay or not. Same
Same.
with Jormund. Jormund, he's scary and
He's
a
scary.
bit mean sometimes, but
And I turn around and I look at the guy with horns, Colin. He's one of those horny blokes as well.
Yeah. And he just kind of...
Maybe
maybe
he's
I
your
can
cousin,
appeal to his better side.
or your brother, or your dad,
I don't.
or your sister.
I don't think, Colin, you don't have any family, do you?
No.
Yes, that's what I thought. No, he's not. Just say to Dusty, as I'm still just like I'm not on his shoulder, but I'm probably just almost leaning on him practically, because he's so big. Also, you dwarf me. I'm 5'4".
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's that. Well, you never know. I once found out I had a dad. Alright.
By the way, as you guys are, just to give you the layout of this place, it's all T-junctions, all of it.
Oh.
It's T-junction, T-junction, T-junction. It's like a labyrinth down here. There is no light. Each of the torches that are glowing are this weird green flame that are magical. They're not actual fire. They take no fuel to keep lit. Something magical is keeping them lit. And as you keep going in, you notice that when you look to the right, there is a crypt, and there are plenty of bunks made out of the, you know, like in the catacombs, how there's just like, there's beds for the dead.
Yes.
Each of the beds that are meant for the dead have been taken over with a little cot, and there are people that are very in ragged clothing sleeping or hanging out on top of them.
Yeah.
There are kids playing on some of them. There is tons of people down here.
Okay.
It's like a little community of beggars that live down here.
Okay.
And each way that you look, there are just more people. And, some of them as you pass by, like, look at you because they don't know who you are. But, like one of them, as you pass by, he gives you a slight wave. Most of them seem to be kind of scared of Dusty.
Yeah.
Do I see Dusty and Katerin come back in?
Yeah, you peek your head away from this rug that you and Elodie sleep in sort of the same area, and there's a big animal skin draped over to give you guys some privacy. And as you lift up the skin, you look and you see Dusty and Katerin, and you see two strangers who you've never seen before, dressed in nice clothes as well as boots.
LD, I'm going to step out. Dusty and Katerin have brought interesting people about. Yeah, and very excitedly, I just kind of look towards her, waiting for a response.
Of course, dear.
And I head on out.
Very intriguing place.
Dusty, Katerin. It's lovely to see you.
I see Jormund. Would it be fair to say, Jonathan, that your guy is like a little bit of a weirdo? Like there's something weird about him, like some kind of.
Honestly, the thing you might find weird about him is how friendly he portrays himself in this type of place. Like very happy, very excited.
So yeah, just like, are kids afraid of you, basically? Do kids give you a wide berth?
I don't know. Brennan, you tell me. I don't think so.
It's mostly animals. You know how animals can always sense something off about people? Animals are a bit timid around Jormund.
Okay. So, who are you? You, Dusty, Gathering, what's going on? Who are you?
And you just kind of like extend your hands and you're like, and who are you? And you look at these two and they just kind of like are like, oh shit, we have to answer now. And at that, I think we're going to take a small break just because for whiskey's sake.
Sure.
Perfect.
Perfect. So yeah, I'm trying to bring everybody together. We only got one left after this.
All right.
Come on, music right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been awesome so far. We even had a combat. I wasn't expecting to survive the first combat.
I'm glad you didn't die.
Me too, because then there'd only be one party member along.
Yeah, because then I'd have the job of running all the way to a lobby like, Grandma, resurrecting, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Grandma,
That'd have been funny. That'd have been
Yeah.
some good shit if my 1 HP character got resurrected with 1 HP.
Yeah, so many different characters. Like once again, after I start games like this, after I've made the characters, I realized that there's so many weird personalities that I have to play.
Yep.
And I'm just like, holy fuck! Like I always make like really weird. Like I gotta play little girl, then I have to play like crazy old woman.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of people that you haven't met yet that I have to play. So it's just like, holy fuck.
I mean, like,
Yeah.